Hi, welcome to Paying for College. This is Reina Gopal. I'm the author of CliffsNotes Graduation Debt. I'm also a Forbes.com contributor, so read my articles on Forbes. And I did one recently in the college rankings that compares Money magazines and Forbes and US News, and it's one of my favorite stories, so check it out. And I will be stopping to answer questions whenever you have them. This is not a conversation between me and me, it's a conversation between us. So anytime you have your questions, I'll be happy to answer. So let's begin, and we're going to talk about some of the myths. There's going to be information for juniors, but also for seniors too, and happy to answer questions for parents or college freshmen and such. So here we go. So what we're going to cover, or at least what we'll cover within these slides, and we can cover other stuff too, is the FAFSA forecaster and applying for financial aid, starting scholarship and career planning now. That's a big one. I really believe strongly in career planning while you're in school and while you're in high school, refining your college search process, and of course the big one, student loans. And first myth, you won't know what financial aid you're eligible to receive until you fill out the free application for financial aid in your senior year. In fact, you can utilize the FAFSA forecaster, which you can just find by Googling it, to really assess what financial aid you might be eligible for from the federal government. Oh, you should also contact the schools you're interested in, even as a junior, and just say, hey, you know, what financial aid do you offer? And also look at the net price calculators on their website. And you can input your family income and input all sorts of things like your grades and see what kind of aid you might expect. The ranking systems are great for that too, to give you a start. Myth, you have to wait till your senior year to apply for scholarships and internships. Not so. Some scholarships should start as early as your sophomore year in high school, so you can definitely start applying now. And so you want to talk to your high school counselor as soon as possible and start the process. And plus you'll be thinking about what kind of scholarships you're shooting for, so you can do things like extracurricular activities that will help you get there. And of course, look for career-related job experience now. Think about what you want to do with your life. Arrange shadow days, which are 2 hours where you sit with a professional and ask them about what they do. And during those 2 hours, it just helps you so much for figuring out what that career might be like. If you're on a budget, one of my favorite myths, you should only apply to schools with the lowest tuition prices. Again, so not true. The simple fact is, and you can see that in the college rankings, is that what you pay is based on your award package, not your tuition price. So you want to look at this net price calculator calculation. You want to look at these ranking systems and see what it says students are actually paying. Money Magazine has it all the way through your undergraduate degree, how much you could be expected to borrow in student loans. So you always want to look at those things. And another point on that one before we head into this myth is some of the Ivy League schools that you would think would be so expensive and beyond your reach. If you have the grades, they can be well within your reach because they offer so much financial aid. And for instance, Stanford, it's very likely, or Princeton, if they find that you have some financial need, you may get a full ride, way more full rides than you expect do exist. And so you should concentrate on the highest dollar amount scholarships. Another myth, not true. After all, if you get $10,000 scholarships, it's the same as one $10,000 scholarship. Talk to your high school counselor about applying for what you have the biggest chance of, no matter what they are, high or low. And ask me questions. That's what I'm here for. I don't see my question box highlighted yet. So when we get to the end of these slides, if I don't see that, I'll do a countdown before we end. So remember that you should fill out the free application for financial aid if you don't wish to take out student loans. Biggest myth possible, because that is how colleges know that you have financial need, which is what helps you get scholarships, which helps you get free grants from the university that may not be the same qualifications as the Pell Grant federally, so you might qualify for things you wouldn't think you would. And the next one, it doesn't matter how much you borrow, because you'll be able to afford your payments when you make the big money after graduation. Yes, there are some great repayment plans, but that doesn't mean that you'll automatically qualify for them. And it doesn't mean that you're going to end up with zero payment. I mean, if you look at these right here. Oh, I got my first question. Oh, 2 questions over here. So Kylie, hi Kylie, wants to know if you can still apply for scholarships in college. That is a wonderful question, actually one of my favorites. The reason why this is such a great question is because a lot of people think that you can't once you're in school. But you may have brought your grades up. There may be departmental scholarships. There may be scholarships that are just for juniors and seniors in college. Talk to the department at the school that you're in. It's a wonderful question. And we're on to, so I did a comparison because it's 10 to 15% of your income is what you should think about in general. So if we look at this right here, a high school teacher, a reporter, a biologist, but I've actually changed this a little bit because frankly, who knows what they want to be when they get into college? I mean, you hope things change. So undergraduate, don't borrow more than $40,000. At least that's what I think. If your parents co-sign a private loan for your education, you are the only person responsible for paying it back. Mom and dad, that is definitely not true. You co-sign, it's like a car loan. It's just like any loan. Any co-sign loan is your loan. It goes on your credit report. It goes on everything. The only thing that is good with some of these private loans is they have an out clause where after X amount of on-time payments, you can take mom and dad's name off the loans. They don't have to hound you. And then federal Parent Plus loans should be considered beforehand. They are parent loans, but guess what? These other loans pretty much are too, because they're co-signing it, so it's their loan as well. All AP classes will help you graduate faster. Big myth. You want to make sure they're actually accepted at the schools that you're going to. You can't plan for miscellaneous college expenses. Not true. You can call financial aid and/or the student money management offices at your prospective campuses to discuss expenses. You can also utilize online calculators for college budgeting. Okay, so these are a couple of websites you can go to, but you can also go to my main website, which is graduationdebt.org. And the best one for you guys now is my Forbes website. So you can just Google Forbes and my name, Raina Goebel, and that will take you to my Forbes page. So Forbes, F-O-R-B-E-S, you know, and Raina Goebel, R-E-Y-N-A, G-O-B-E-L, that's where all my paying for college content is. Well, we have completed the slide deck, so I'm here for your questions. So what I'm going to do, because I don't have more questions right now, is I do a count of 10. If I don't have a question before then the session ends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One last call for questions if you happen to have them. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today. If I get a question before I finish the sign up, then I will be happy to continue. As said, got a question. And Neil, hi Neil, wants to know about scholarships for minorities. There are definitely scholarships for all sorts of things, and you should talk to your high school counselor about the ones that might be best for you. So thank you, Neil, for that question. Oh, and another one from Violet. Hi, Violet. If I get a job that I like but doesn't make a ton of money, we'll be paying off student loans for the rest of my life. That's the thing, is like you do want a job you like. That's the whole point of school. When it comes to paying off student loans for the rest of your life, I mean, there are income-based repayment plans that may help you as far as the income, but stick to borrowing $40,000 or less for an undergraduate degree. More than likely, you won't be paying off your student loans for the rest of your life. And if not, maybe it'll be a really small payment that won't really affect your life that much. And Michelle, hi Michelle, wants to know of some good websites to check for scholarships. We always talk about scholarships.com, but I think the two places you really need to go are the schools you're interested in applying for. Talk to those financial aid offices. And then the other important one is your high school guidance counselor. They know about scholarships. They know a lot of things. They can help you find some resources. So thank you, Michelle, for that question. Thank you, Violet. Thank you, Neil. And thank you, Kylie. And I will do another count of 10. Oh, there we go. And Michelle wants to know, should a student go as independent to get more financial aid? The standards for independent are pretty high. It's hard as an 18-year-old to get it. If you're truly independent from your parents and they're not claiming you on their taxes, then you may want to look at it. But it's not something that you can just opt for. You have to meet the qualifications. So see if you meet the qualifications, then you can figure it out. But it's not really an option for most people. But good question. Okay, and so I'm going to do another count of 10 and see if anyone has more questions for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I'm going to do the sign off again. And if by the end of the sign off there's more questions, then I'll stick around. Oh, there's my question. Okay. I've got a question from Emma. I think she wanted a longer presentation. Emma, if there's a specific question, you're welcome to ask me anything that you want. If you feel like you missed a slide, I'm happy to go back to it. So if you could tell me where you tuned in, then I can help you with that. But we always start the sessions on time. So, but if you tuned in a couple of minutes late, of course, I'm happy to go back there. And these sessions, by the way, are also recorded, so you can go back and see it at a later time. So we count on that you may have come from another session. So of course, you can go back and look at it later on. So you didn't really miss anything because you can go back to it. And you can also ask me questions on Twitter. And Patrick wants to know who gets a financial aid award at Sierra. Hi, Patrick. It really depends on the school. It depends what scholarships are available. It depends on a lot of things. It's really, there isn't a generic answer to that. And Michelle wants to know, hi again, Michelle, is there a limit on the number of scholarships that one can receive? Not really. I mean, apply for whatever you can get, and then if you have to turn down something, you do. But I wouldn't worry about it at the beginning for sure. Okay, and so that was my last question again. So I'm going to do another countdown and see if anyone has others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there's my question. Okay, and Michelle wants to know, are there other ways to get more money if you're not satisfied with the results from FAFSA? Well, FAFSA is really is not the only form of financial aid. It's giving you an expected financial aid award number. So the schools will use that. So you find out what the schools are going to do. So I would talk to the schools that you're interested in and also use the net price calculators if you want to get an estimate. And Brad, hi Brad. Brad's a parent, so yay for parents tuning in. My son is a senior and will be 18 in a few weeks. Does it matter if he files his taxes on his own this year to receive more aid? I think there's a couple of things. I don't know the income he's making. I don't know if he's really supporting himself. You may be costing yourself money on your tax returns that may not qualify him for that much financial aid difference. You can use the FAFSA forecaster and kind of calculate out what the difference will be. But the main thing is you really have to look at what an independent student is and study that first, because you may be doing it for nothing. There are very specific rules on what that is. And I'm not going to tell you one way or the other whether you should declare it, but I suggest that you look at all aspects of it, your own taxes, everything. So thank you, Brad. Okay, I'm giving another countdown. Which the countdowns are very effective. It gets you guys asking questions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I don't see the question lighting up, so I'm going to do the sign up. So thank you so much for joining me today. Feel free to ask me questions on Twitter at Raina Goble. For more information, feel free also to read my articles on Forbes. A lot of Paying for College stuff. Great new article on reviewing college rankings that came out last week. And just go to Forbes and put Raina Goble in the search box, or you can just do it from Google. Type my name, put in Forbes. So a final countdown, just in case you have questions for me. I don't want to rule anybody's questions out or feel like they were neglected in any way, because I'm here for you guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye.